What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so before I go forward, I want to give a shout out to the brother Ticket TV for being the first one I saw talking about this. So please subscribe to the brother Ticket TV. So, I'll put a link to this article in the pinned comment in the comment section below. Apparently, Ja Morant's team claims that the gun that Ja Morant is seen waving in the more recent Instagram video, they claim that it was a toy. Alright? And apparently they told Adam Silver this, but Adam Silver still is going to go forward with the suspension. And the rumor is that this suspension, which will be announced sometime after the NBA Finals, it's going to be some. The number that keeps popping out is somewhere between 30 to 40 games. And look, me personally, I don't believe it was a toy. I think that's them trying to plea a mea culpa. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get him off. He's used to. Ja Morant probably is an ultimate bullshitter, bro. This is my take. Just my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm correct. A lot of people say I'm on here. I think I know everything. No, I don't. I just give my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm correct all the time, but it's just my opinion. Ja Morant is not from the hood. He idolizes the hood. He idolizes street culture, rap culture, whatever you want to call it. But apparently he grew up in the suburbs. So if you gotta think that if he grew up in the suburbs, he's used to talking to white folks. He's used to talking a certain way to make white folks feel comfortable and to tell them what they want to hear. So, just my opinion, I think for a very long time, Ja Morant thinks he has mastered the art of bullshitting authorities, aka sometimes white people. You know, you hear Adam Silver says that, you know, apparently Ja Morant seemed very, very contrite after the first incident. And that he had learned his lesson, talked a certain way, right? But apparently, you know, he still was doing the same shit. And look, if it was a toy, why did they react the way they did when it was put on camera? Was it a toy? I don't know, man. A lot of toys today, they look very realistic, right? They look very realistic. They look like actual guns. And, you know, I know that some people say, well, look, if it was a toy, then, look, he shouldn't be suspended. My thing is this. I agree with Ticket when he makes the point about what would happen if you project this image, but then you go out and something really happens. You draw the attention of people who, or dudes who's really about that life, and now you're in a situation where you're fucked because they're not rocking with toys. They got the real deal, Holyfield, while you're walking around with some G.I. Joe shit. But I also want to make this other point. It still matters that he had a toy, because one of the first things that popped in my mind was, I believe the young man was named Tamir Rice. Tamir Rice was 12 years old playing on the playground with a toy gun, but it appeared from a distance that it could be real. And we saw that horrific video footage of this police officer who pulled up, exited his vehicle, and fired upon that 12-year-old boy without any warning or any hesitation. 12-year-old boy. Blew him away. So it does matter still what Ja Morant having, even if it was a toy. They got to get it through their fucking skulls that they're not regular people. They're role models, and we know how popular the NBA is in our community. You know what I'm saying? Baseball used to be pretty popular maybe 40, 50 years ago in our community. We don't have as much representation as we once did. Boxing has kind of fallen off as a sport in our community. Football is still important, but basketball, especially in the young culture, the youth culture, it's number one. And John Morant is a young star who I think a lot of young people identify with. And, you know, as I'm doing this video, where I live at in Richmond, Virginia, we just had a tragedy occur. Young people who, and I'll do a video on this, you may have heard about this if you watch CNN. Young people who have just graduated, just reaching their adult lives. One life was taken away. 3 others hang in the balance. Young people, 17, 18 years old. So let's not act like gun violence doesn't exist. I'm all for the Second Amendment. But this is not about that. It's about being responsible. With powers, with privileges, come responsibility. So at the end of the day, even if John Morant did have a toy, you know the situation at hand. You know what their deal is, man. So on this situation, I'm sorry, man. He's gonna have to face the consequences, and then hopefully after this, he'll come back stronger than ever and win a championship or 2 with the Memphis Grizzlies.